We are live, my man Sam. We're doing a post-fight reaction to this Benavidez versus Boo Boo bout, if you want to call it that. Let's just get into it, man. What do you think of the fight, Benavidez versus Andrade?
Look, honestly, I mean, I think we were all expecting a bigger fight, a bigger,
Yeah.
more competition,
Right.
and it turned out to be a Trinidad William Joppy fight, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, man, look, that strategy that Boo Boo was trying to do, like you muscle him.
Right.
I've seen boxing too much, bro,
Right.
to
Right.
know that is you use a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know the muscles are gonna weigh down,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened.
I think he was trying to catch him, at least wobble him and break him to where his athleticism can be beneficial later on. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's the vibe I got. Because I had him winning those first two rounds. Because I like how he had the action. And it's so funny, bro. Because the moment I messaged you that and you told me Benavidez starts a little late, Benavidez literally turned it on like 5 seconds later, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And credit to Benavidez, man. Whether you love him or hate him, I know it's the hottest thing right now in boxing, but he just, you know what it was, man. He chopped him down, bro. He chopped him down,
Yes,
and I don't think Andrade had or Boo Boo had the power. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
yes. Benavidez is a second half fighter. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's just like what he had with the Caleb Plant fight. He was losing to
right,
Caleb Plant,
right,
and
right,
so I knew that if you don't hurt, and that's what exactly what Boo Boo was trying to do, is hurt him early, try to stop him early, or just hurt him early. You
right,
know,
right,
and it
right,
was one of the keys to victory for Boo Boo
right,
is win the first rounds, win as many rounds as you can, because
right,
it's
right,
only going to get tougher.
right.
Okay, and it backfired, bro. The plan backfired.
Well,
You
look, we
know.
just got a we just got a comment from the famous Aiken McCall. Very comments on a lot of our videos. So we appreciate the love, my man. He wants to know that he did not see Benavidez outboxing Andrade. Did you see his footwork? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I mean, it was Boo Boo was doing everything he can with his speed and his reach. He was
Right,
doing everything he can, but those little chops, those little hooks, and that straight right hand that
right,
that that David was throwing, it just, dude, you saw Boo Boo's face get damaged, bro.
right, right.
In the second round, I saw Boo Boo already breathing heavy. You know what
Exactly,
I'm saying? I
exactly.
saw it and I knew it. I knew it. I knew that he's going to tire himself out. And we were
Right.
texting each other when we were watching this fight. You
Very
know,
rare,
and,
by the
and
way. Very rare. But
yeah,
go ahead.
and we were texting each other while we were watching this fight. And I didn't know it was going to get stopped that early. What do you think, in your opinion, Boo Boo could have done to prevent this early stoppage?
I on it the way, and here's something interesting. By the way, the famous Aiken McCall asked us another question. David, he says that David's footwork improved and use of the right hand. So before I answer McCall's question, let me answer yours very quickly. The one thing that I think Andrade could have done, coincidentally, is what Charlo did to Benavidez in the first fight before. Kind of took it slow, absorbed it, pun, stick and move a little bit, and then eventually break through the guard. I kind of think that Andrade had, you could see the weight difference. You know what I'm saying? You could see, I mean, I know Andrade had
The
had
muscle?
the muscle for it and the athleticism, but you could see that he wasn't really breaking the guard, considering those early flurries that Boo Boo did in the first two rounds. They weren't really connecting as much as I thought they were, especially on the replays when you watch the replays. But to answer Aiken McCall's question about Davis' footwork, here's something interesting. I've always considered Benavidez versus Canelo, I know we're jumping a little bit, to be a huge mismatch. The reason why is because of the footwork of Benavidez. You and I have talked about this many times in private and many times on this podcast already. I don't like that. One, he's flat-footed, of course, but two, he tends to keep his feet like directly parallel from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no angle. Today, I actually noticed a little bit more angle, but he still has a little bit of a bad habit where when he goes into his combinations, then he'll put his feet even. I don't like that. His brother did that too against Charlo also. But there was slight improvement where now you saw Benavidez' feet kind of go the traditional angle from each other. So go ahead.
Yeah, I did notice that too, and there was something that I noticed, when the fight was barely going to start. What I noticed is that David Benavidez had a look in his face that said, "I am not going to lose, man. I
Yeah,
am not going to lose," and he was welcoming. He was welcoming Boo's attacks. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They knew what was going to happen, man. They knew what Boo Boo was gonna do,
Mhm.
and Boo Boo was trying to frustrate him and throw him
So
off his game plan.
so let me ask you this: what could have Boo Boo have done? You asked me the question. Let me turn it to you. What do you think Boo Boo could have done as well?
I think he should do what he was doing in all his fights, where
Yeah,
he was sticking and moving, bro. People
right.
have criticized him for
Hmm.
tagging and running and tagging and moving or whatever you want to call it. He would
Hmm.
move around, and
Right.
dude, he was standing in front of David, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He came in. He should have stuck to his old game plan, and
But
he
that
came in with a different game plan to try to snatch the early rounds. And he got caught, bro. He got caught by a punch, a straight right hand that he just could not recover from. Period.
I was watching the fight with my pops, and I was telling him when they showed the replay when Boo Boo went down the first time. I said, you know what that punch was right there? That is that punch because I've been hit by this punch too, where you're hearing everything, and then once you get hit like that, it's all you hear is a ringing in your head. All the sound in the background is gone. All you hear is the ringing, and now you know you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Um, Here's
Just
something
like
interesting.
just like the Fight Night knockdown. Have you ever played Fight Night?
Right,
Have you ever
right,
played it?
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. When you get
Or it's
knocked
like
down,
any it's like any of the
yeah,
Rocky movies too, bro.
yeah. Go ahead.
Here's something interesting why I think Boo Boo had a little bit of an issue. Bro, I think it was the lights, man. I think it was too big of a crowd. It was his first time fighting in front of an audience. How many times did they keep on saying he's been looking for this fight for 15 years, for 15 years, looking for this fight, 15 years over and over and over. I think it was too much. I think he came in like I need to put on a show, and that led to a bad fighting strategy against Benavidez. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think it was it just me? Maybe it's just me. Did
Hmm.
did do you think that Boo Boo looked a little too heavy, bro?
Well, he's traditionally a 160. He'll fight at 164 ish, 165 ish fighter, and I think that's where he needs to stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
yeah, it looked like he was a little too full. It's so funny because I'll admit this. I've never really given Boo Boo the credit because he kind of reminded me of of a middleweight version of Wilder, just throwing a lot of haymakers, like no real control on his hooks and his uppercuts. And I think today he kind of toned it back. Maybe it is the weight gain. Maybe he did feel a little slow. That's where I get my analysis. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I that's why I brought it up. There was something about his weigh-in
Hmm.
physique to what he walked in the ring with.
Right,
When
right,
he
right.
walked in, like, you know what I'm saying? When he walked in the ring, I was like, oh man, he doesn't look, you know, cut up the way I'm used to seeing, Boo Boo look. I mean, look, I'm not trying to discredit David Benavidez,
Right,
but I mean, David was just faster, bro.
right,
He was
right.
faster. He's using his footwork, great defense. I
Hmm.
mean, he saw the shots coming in, bro. He
Hmm.
saw
Hmm.
all the shots that Boo Boo was trying to throw.
Hmm.
That tonight's fight proved to me that Boo's on a bigger level than I had him in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
David Benavidez
David.
is he's in a level bigger than what I thought he was, dude.
Okay.
He's a
What
great.
do you what do you think then? Because I think you
Um,
and I are thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
yeah, that the way I thought about him is he's a fast fighter, he's a strong fighter. Um, um, Dude, his speed, he's much better. I don't know how to describe it. He's just a much better fighter than I thought he was. I mean, dude, everybody was afraid to fight Boo Boo, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody avoided him because he was
Mhm.
such a complicated fighter, and
Right.
that's why I said that's
Southpaw.
where Boo Boo screwed up was not following what I've seen him do before, and
Mhm.
it's moving, it's using the ring.
Right.
And it was just a bad strategy, man, in my opinion.
I'll say this, and this might be a hot take, but I don't think Benavidez should be at 168. I think he belongs at 175. He has the height, he has the weight. I think he's naturally a 173, 175 fighter. I think he belongs there, which is why he's bullying these guys at 168. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I heard some other people talking about that. They were saying that, hey, man, he's too long, he's too tall, he has a long reach, and his body can carry, an extra 7 pounds. You know what I mean? And that he should be fighting Pivot. You know what I'm saying? That's what the people that I heard on social media say. I had a question for you though.
Talk to me.
After tonight's performance, where do you have him ranked
Mm.
in your
In class or
top,
pound for pound?
the pound for pound? Where do you have
Oh,
David
bro.
ranked?
Off the top of my head.
And where did you
Okay.
have him before? And where do
I
you have
thought
him now?
I thought he was borderline 12 to 8 area. You know what I'm saying? I could see him. Look, look. I know this is what people do not want to
Yeah.
hear, but there is a reason why Andrade nobody really heard of him besides real boxing aficionados like the people that are subscribed to us. Um, but I will say this. I think I can have him around 5 and 6 ish because I think if Andrade fights top tier 168, a plant, uh, um, I think if he fights Charlo, I don't think that would happen though. Jamal, sorry, I think it will that fight could kind of look like what we saw with Benavidez, to be honest with you. So I don't know if that really gives Benavidez the leverage to leapfrog guys. I mean, because I had people at 5, I would say I would have Usyk, I would have Haney, I would have Canelo, I have Inoue, I have Crawford. I can't see Benavidez leapfrogging those guys off of this fight. Yes, it was an impressive TKO, absolutely, but I say 6 to 8 range, 5 to 8 range. What do you think?
Look, I had him like my number 12 or even 10. After tonight's fight, after what he's done to Anthony Durrell, after what
Mhm.
he's done to Caleb Plant, after
Right.
what he's done to Boo Andrade, being a boogeyman, the fashion, the way he took out Boo Boo, in
Mhm.
the fashion he did it. I
Right.
have to have him just right outside my top 5. I got
Yeah.
him ranked number 6 in my pound for pound.
Okay. Okay. And I'm okay with that. That's about the
Yeah.
range I have them with there. I think Inoue is such on a tear, and I kind of feel Inoue is unbeatable right now. I think Crawford right now in that 147, 154 range. I think he's unbeatable too. Canelo right now 168. That's what we're gonna see. Hopefully, right? Supposedly they're gonna set that up. We'll talk about that in a minute. Usyk is there. Man, I had Fury until the Nagano thing there at 5, but I have to knock him down. And then of course Haney. I know Haney is very controversial. A lot of people you either love him or hate him. Very technical, can be a boring fighter, but like you always say about Haney, he's taken everybody on and he's won every single time. So I would have to put that in no particular order. My top 5. I'm okay with Benavidez being 6, 7 around there.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
agree 100%. I got Bud, Canelo, and Haney as my top 3, and then I got the other accomplishments of you got it like Inoue,
Right.
Usyk,
Right.
that's why I got Benavidez for. I mean, just the fashion he did it, bro, made a
Right.
huge statement. And people are still in shock on how
Right.
he did that, bro. You know what I'm
But
saying?
by the way, those that are watching, go ahead and leave us a comment, and we will go ahead and respond to this reaction fight here. So let's get into the big what everybody wants to know about. Does Canelo fight Benavidez next?
Um, I don't think so. I think we'll
Okay.
see that fight.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. Well, his next, because I know he's going to fight in May, and then they're going to fight. And supposedly, it's probably going to happen in September. Do you see that September fight happening?
Yes, I do see it happening. It's boiled over. The pressure is high, bro. Everybody, dude, the world is asking for it. It
Right.
has to happen, bro. There's no room for it's a mandatory. There's no room for a Canelo to run, brother. There's
Right.
just not. So where do you go from there? You got to
Right.
fight Benavidez.
I'll say this right now. Normally, I've defended Canelo. No, no secret here. Canelo, I kind of thought he was going to take the Floyd Mayweather route. Controversial subject again, where he's going to push it off and wait for that dollar amount to keep going up and up and up, kind of like what he did with Pacquiao, right? Where it just kept on going up higher and higher and higher. Now is the time. I don't think Benavidez can get any hotter than right now. Because I don't think anybody else. I mean, who's going to fight at 168? Unless he goes up to 175 and fights Bivol maybe in May. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what other fight do you see Benavidez fighting before Canelo that can raise the price even
No,
more? Or do you think he waits till September?
No, people have already said it. Some people that are like behind the scenes already said because they were mentioning that going to 175. They said he ain't moving. He's gonna wait for the Canelo fight. Canelo has nowhere else to run. The Canelo's gonna have to fight David Benavidez. I do honestly think it's gonna happen. Hopefully next year. But it has to happen, bro. After the performance that Canelo did with Jermel, and after
Mm-hmm.
the performance we just had tonight, dude, it has to happen. You know what I
I
mean?
have a new
It's the biggest fight right now.
I have a new prediction. Now there might be some, little red tape here. But my prediction here, because I'm kind of 50-50 on this, but the way Jamal performed after his 2-year layoff, 2.5-year layoff already, I kind of think that Canelo's going to finish off the brothers in May, or try to at least finish off the brothers in May. Jamal looked good. Now, here's why I don't think it could happen also. Jamal, you could tell he's not in love with boxing anymore. He doesn't have that heart. He won today on sheer skill. And let's be honest, he outweighed Jose Benavidez tremendously. I mean, he came overweight on the weigh-in, and then when he goes to weigh in again, he was even heavier, if that's even possible. And you could see the size difference to where Jose Benavidez had no answer to break through the guard of Jamal Charlo. But I can see where Charlo can use his last payday against Canelo, even though he'd be heavily, disadvantaged. I could see Canelo just taking this fight versus Munguia in May. What do you think about that?
Bro.
Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
I'm gonna give my honest opinion. Jose Benavidez was trash, bro.
He was trash, bro.
Yeah, he was trash. And I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm probably gonna piss some people off, but I'm just gonna speak my mind on what I saw.
Do it, brother. Do
Charlo,
it, brother.
Jamal, he's trash too, bro.
Yeah.
Canelo. I mean, okay, maybe he's rusty. He's gonna get better. He's knocking some rust off, but Canelo will destroy Charlo, bro. I mean, this is like a wounded animal. This is a wounded
Right.
animal for Canelo.
Right.
I do see that Charlo. The way I saw the interviews pre and post and the fight, Jermont Charlo, he don't want nothing with boxing anymore. He needs that paycheck from Canelo, and that's about it. It's going to be another one of his brother's fights.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I agree with you 100%. I just don't see the love anymore. You saw the interview afterwards. I don't see the love that
bro.
Jamal had.
Yeah.
He's done, bro. He's done. If he would have fought a competent 160 guy, I think the fight would have looked a lot different. You know, Jose had no answers for Charlo. But let's go back. Let's go back to the elephant in the room then. Benavidez, Canelo, they fight in September. What kind of fight do you see happening? Early prediction.
Early prediction. I see, believe it or not, man. Oh God! After what I saw tonight, after the speed and everything that I saw from David Benavidez, if Canelo cannot hurt him, to the body, which is possible because Canelo finishes guys towards the end of the fight. We might see probably even a trilogy, bro.
Okay.
We might even see a trilogy. It's just I think David Benavidez, I've seen so many of his fights. He has great endurance.
Mm-hmm.
He has great stamina, speed. You know what I'm saying? And remember, he's not one of these small guys. He's a naturally bigger dude.
Right.
I don't think Canelo's gonna smoke him that easy. But I mean, if the body shots go in by Canelo, then Canelo can hurt David Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to predict, man. It's hard for me to predict, but I hate to say this, bro, because I was not saying this a few months ago. Right. But I hate to say that it's a 50-50 fight.
Okay. I can see what you're saying, where it could be a trilogy kind of fight. Maybe there's a draw in there somewhere, that kind of thing. Here is and I brought this up before. The first time they fight, this is my early prediction. I think Canelo is going to win by the fans, but Benavidez will get the win. I talked about this before, where boxing has a tendency, and by the way, guys, tell me what you guys think in the comments here. Boxing has a tendency to kind of hand the baton to the next up-and-coming guy, whether the original champ is ready or not, or the old face of boxing is ready or not to give it up. And I can see where Benavidez, I don't know, dude. I could see where Canelo wins the fight, but they'll give it to Benavidez because of that changing of the guard kind of thing. And not that Benavidez, that is going to be a robbery or anything, but I don't know. I kind of feel I don't want to be prisoner of the moment. Obviously Andrade was the inferior opponent, and Canelo is in my opinion, many classes better than him. So I don't know where that meets in the middle with Benavidez, but I'm still kind of leaning to where Canelo wins that fight. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's hard for me to make a decision right now because I'm fresh off the ass whooping that Benavidez gave Boo Boo. Right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll have a different mindset when I'm, tomorrow or whatever. But you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct, and I'm glad you mentioned it. That Canelo's class is above Boo Boo, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, let's not forget that Canelo throws body punches, bro, that are heard around the world, bro. Shots heard around the world. And David Benavidez standing in front of Canelo is tailor-made for Canelo, in my opinion. I think Canelo would have had a tougher time fighting Boo Boo than, in my opinion.
That's so funny you said that. I thought the same thing when the fight was at least the first 2.5 rounds. I was like, ooh, left-handed, that athleticism. I can see Canelo having a little bit of trouble because Benavidez, to your credit, was starting off slow, calculating, doing the even footwork there that I'm really not a fan of. And to me, originally, Benavidez looked slow, and I could see where Canelo would make him to look like where he's just dodging the jabs that Benavidez likes to throw so precisely. But if we're gonna see that foot movement that the famous Aiken McCall here on our comment section brought up earlier, it could be a different fight. I think, and here's another point I want to make out, not to jump around in conversation, but this is going to be the narrative until September. Okay. People are going to be saying this, and mark my words, that, well, Canelo wasn't able to knock out a Charlo at 154, a naturally lighter fighter. That what are his punch? Does he have the power to knock down Benavidez or take control of the fight from Benavidez? I think that's going to be an interesting talking point from here until that September fight, if we do get that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think that David Benavidez can make a mistake too. Now that I think about it, I think he's going to take too many chances with Canelo and open up, in my opinion, because we got to remember, people. We got to remember, Canelo has fought legends, boxing legends, bro. Fastest boxers, Amir Khan, Cotto, and I mean, we can go on and on and on. All the opponents that Canelo has fought, he's fought Mayweather, and I just think that maybe because of tonight's fight, maybe we're blowing up David Benavidez too much.
Here's not to cut you off. I apologize. You bring up a good point. And guys on the comments, leave this. Tell me what you think here. You're right. Canelo has seen blinding speed. Yes, he did not do good against Mayweather or Lara or Cotto, who's naturally faster.
I got a point, but go ahead.
He's felt the power from Bivol, from Triple G. He's fought against the shoulder roll with Mayweather and Plant. I mean, he's seen everything. I don't think Benavidez is going to bring something too unique to this fight that Canelo has not seen before. So go ahead and tell me your point.
My point is this, bro. I'm going to make a point right now that I'm going to believe in. I'm going to believe, and what I'm going to say I believe in.
Hit me, brother.
Bro. Bivol couldn't knock out Canelo.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
What makes us think that David's going to knock out Canelo? For me, Bivol is a high-skilled boxer with power. He wasn't afraid of Canelo. He was sharp. He had great footwork. Yeah, maybe I'm blowing David Benavidez way, way, way too high after the performance tonight. But I just think that Canelo has his, he could win too. He could be, it's a 50-50. I'll leave it at that.
You're starting to convince me. You're starting to convince me a little bit more because you're right, bro. I think Bivol is probably pound for pound the most technically sound boxer right now. Okay? I'm not saying he's the best, but technically sound. And what have we learned from Canelo throughout his career? Every time he loses or has a 50-50 fight, a robbery, I guess, he always comes back better. You know what I'm saying? He is the ultimate live and let learn kind of fighter. I'm going to learn from this and get better. And I honestly think if he goes into the ring with that focus that he had with Jermell, we hadn't seen, in my opinion, I was seeing a chubby Canelo when he fought Ryder and his earlier bout. You know what I'm saying? When he came into shape against Jermell, if we see that kind of focus, and by the way, he's been training after Jermell, pretty much the week after, ever since. Yeah. He knows that his countryhood, even though Benavidez is not really Mexican, but it depends on the bloodline. But anyways, that he's going to be ready for that fight, and I don't see him adjusting to Canelo. So we got another comment here from Carl Linden Rosal. No way Benavidez can KO Canelo. Why? Because Canelo is afraid to face Benavidez. What do you think about that comment?
Um, um,
Thank you,
no,
by the way, Carl.
no, I think it's part of the plan, guys.
Mhm.
I think it's part of the plan. We, as the fans, as the media, whatever that's what we want. That's what we're calling out.
Mhm.
But we don't know, dude, what's going on behind closed doors. That
Right.
fight with Canelo has just been made tonight.
You think so? Really?
It has to happen, bro. It has to
So
happen.
let's talk about it then. Look, I know you have your own feelings about this. I'm actually a Munguia fan. Okay.
Oh, bro.
I
Bro.
actually think I'm not saying he would beat Canelo, but something about Munguia, bro, is that he'll get in a phone booth. You know what I'm saying? He'll get in a phone booth, and I'm not saying he's gonna make the fight close with Canelo, but is it too risky of a fight for Canelo?
Bro. Um,
Hey, I'm here to ask the questions. All right, my man.
yeah. No. You know what? You know what? I'll give Munguia this. If
Mhm.
Canelo fights Munguia, it'll be a type of fight where Eric Morales throws in the towel.
Oh,
You
okay,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? He'll throw in the towel for Munguia. There's no way in hell Munguia has fought any level of fighters that Canelo has ever fought. He is Munguia gets smoked by David Benavidez, in my
You don't
opinion,
think? You don't think? Well, you know what? You're right. Canelo's been in
dude.
the fight game too long to overlook Munguia for Benavidez and fight a sloppy fight. Because you remember, not to compare, but De La Hoya was looking forward to the fight with Hopkins, and he
Yeah.
slept on Felix Sturm. And you and I did a whole episode. By the way, guys, we have the episodes on our podcast there of the greatest top 3 greatest robberies of all time. You and I both had that fight as a robbery.
Oh yeah.
You
Deloy
know what I
lost
mean?
that. Mm.
Right. Is that possible where Canelo could overlook the Munguia fight, take it lightly? And I'm not saying it's going to be a draw or a robbery or Munguia is going to keep it close, but
It's gonna be
is
a
that
struggle.
possible? Okay, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a struggle. If he yes, he's gonna. He in his look. If he's already looking at his contract and he sees Munguia and he sees David Benavidez in his contract, right now I'll tell you one thing. After the performance that he saw from Jamal Charlo,
Right.
I think Canelo's gonna want to go take out Jamal Charlo because Munguia is a lot more hungrier, in my
Okay,
opinion.
so okay, very good. So
Yeah,
look,
go ahead.
look, I agree with you. That's why I brought it up earlier. I think Canelo is going to book the Jamal fight because I know he knows Canelo needs a knockout. Ever since his loss to Bivol, he didn't knock out an old aging Triple G. He didn't knock out Jamel. He didn't knock out Ryder. He needs a KO to even make the purse for September get even higher. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be one of those potentially where Canelo makes his 100, 200 million and Benavidez breaks that 10 million. I can even see it going for Benavidez getting 30 million on this fight if Canelo, knocks out the next fighter in a beautiful fashion. And I think the guy right now is Jamal. Get rid of both brothers. End that legacy right there. And then now the hype train will begin for both of those fighters. Go ahead.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. The reason I think that Canelo, after what we all know Canelo was watching these fights. I know that Canelo's going to want that Jamal Charlo fight first before Benavidez. Like you said, to build up a knockout, right? Boom, make it huge. Make it huge. And finally call out David Benavidez. You know what?
Right.
I'll fight David Benavidez. That'll be
Yeah.
huge. And let me
Right.
tell you, Canelo saw that fight with Jose Benavidez. And if Big Charlo, cannot knock down Jose Benavidez, bro, a 147 guy or whatever he is, bro, Canelo he knows it's gonna be cakewalk, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, my man.
The path to success, he can already see it, bro. He already sees it, bro. He already sees his I'm gonna stop this guy, then I'm gonna go after David Benavidez and stop him, and I'm done with this three fight contract, whatever. And that's it, bro. That's it. After that, he would find Logan Paul or something.
And he'd be okay with that. Let me ask you this. Now, I don't want let's get off Canelo for a little bit, even though we're probably going to come back to him.
Yeah.
What is next for Benavidez? Does he fight in May, or does he train from here on until September?
I mean, who does he have left?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's people around, if there's people in his camp, they're already saying that he's gonna wait on Canelo. He ain't going up because somebody mentioned Bivol. He ain't doing none of that. That he's gonna wait on Canelo. Boom, and that's it. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I mean, there is Morrell. Morrell's a little bit more. I mean, he only has 9 or 10 fights. I mean, that could be interesting for him.
I don't think the money's there. We got to see Morrell do something. You know what I'm saying? We got to see Morrell do something. Let's see Morrell fight Caleb Plant. Let's see Morrell fight. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Big Charlo. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at the top 10 in 168. There's Plant number 3. There's Mbili number 4. He's 25-0 from France, 21 KOs. Morrell's 5, 9-0, 8 KOs. John Ryder, he's a stubborn fighter. He's bigger than you think. He's more of like a bulldog kind of fighter. Pun. There's Bazignan from Canada. He's been getting a lot of heat lately. A lot of boxing journalists have been talking about him, that he's a new up-and-coming guy that a lot of people are avoiding. I mean, what does Benavidez do? I mean, does he fight a tune-up fight? We know nowadays in boxing fans, because of social media, boxers are not allowed to take tune-up fights anymore. So what does Benavidez do? Does he fight a top contender?
Who else is on that list?
I got Vladimir Shishkin from Russia, 15-0, 9 KOs. Munguia's number 9 with 42-0. 33 KOs. Diego Pacheco, 20-0. I mean, it's pretty much everybody's undefeated except for Ryder and Canelo and Caleb Plant, of course. But that's the top 10 right now, man.
But I mean, how do you go so high, bro, and fighting Boo Boo, undefeated champion, to go down and fight Morrell?
I got it. This is to create that purse to where Benavidez can now break the $10 million threshold and get that 20 to 30 million fight for Canelo. I think you should go to light heavyweight, fight Callum Smith, maybe knock him out. Callum Smith is what, 6'4", 6'5", and boom, he beat a light heavyweight, and then come back down to 168. It'll be kind of to build up the hype a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think he's going to want to risk it. I don't think he's going to want to risk it, bro. You're not going to risk it, bro. You're there. You're the king of the mountain, bro. You're the king of the mountain. Why are you going to, you're not going to want to put that right now. The energy's so high. You're not going to put it, you're not going to risk the purse, the magnitude, of the momentum that you're on, to risk it with somebody that it doesn't even matter. Right. It doesn't matter. No, bro. It's at its peak right now. He's gonna milk this, bro, till next year.
You're saying nothing for Benavidez
until Canelo. There's nothing else. There's nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Wow. I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words. I see what you're saying.
Look what happened to Jermell.
Yeah.
He was a king at 154. He lost it to Canelo, and now everybody's criticizing his performance. and it just doesn't carry the same energy anymore.
Mhm.
You know, why would David, just risk it, bro? You're
Mhm.
you're at a peak right now. There, you
Right.
cannot get higher.
Mhm.
You got Canelo backed against the wall.
Right.
That is it. I mean, everybody was chanting Canelo.
Right. Right. Right.
Come
Let me ask
on.
you this. Let me ask you this. I don't think Canelo would do this, but people have criticized him for ducking, even though I don't believe that at all. If Canelo fights Munguia in May and then fights somebody else in September, pushes it off, what does Canelo look like?
A duck.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he looks like a
So
duck, bro.
all the chasing he did in his career would not matter. Him dropping weight to fight, to dehydrate himself, to fight Mayweather, to fight Lara, to jump from 154 to 165, 65 to fight Chavez, and then going back down to 160. All that doesn't matter anymore, except for his fight against Benavidez.
He was a
If he
great
pushes it off.
fighter. He was a great fighter that ducked Benavidez.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because they would have said the same thing about Floyd if he didn't fight Manny.
He
They would
did.
have said,
He
you
did.
know
He
what I'm
didn't
saying?
fight. He didn't fight for. He pushed it off for 7 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Or
He
depends
has
who you
to,
talk to.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to, bro. He has to fight Benavidez, because it's just so built up that the greats in our boxing, umbrella are saying Canelo needs to fight Benavidez. Period.
Okay.
There's no bigger fight right now in boxing. No bigger fight right now in boxing.
All right.
Nobody cares about the rematch of Bud and Spence. Nobody cares about that.
Right.
There is no bigger fight right now. Tonight, bro, people are talking about Canelo versus Benavidez.
Yeah.
That's all you're
All
going
right.
to hear.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. It has to happen.
It
It
has to
has to
happen.
happen. Uh, I hope it happens in September. I know UFC is going to compete with boxing. They're going to put their supposedly biggest pay-per-view card of all time on
Wow.
the same weekend to compete and give the knockout blow to boxing, end them for whoever knows however long. And boxing, you know what I think, bro? Boxing is going to make that fight. They already kind of are making it mandatory. Boxing is going to make Canelo and Benavidez fight that September, because if they get blown out in the ratings and Canelo fights Jamal in September and Benavidez fights Caleb Plant gives him a rematch or something like that, or Morrell in September, boxing is done, brother.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
beautiful point.
UFC will officially take the 16 de septiembre crown away from boxing. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a UFC boxing bout. So
They
I
took
think,
it. Hmm.
yeah, I think boxing is going to give the entire purse to Canelo and Benavidez. Look, we'll give you 300 million, Canelo. Benavidez, we'll give you 100 million. But we need you guys to fight in September, whether you guys are ready or not. Don't get injured in between. You know what? Go ahead and take up the tune-up fights in May, and we'll see you in September. That's my last thought. You got any final thoughts on this fight?
Yeah. On this prediction that you're saying about the Benavidez Canelo.
Right. Or
Yes,
whatever. Whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the fight has to happen. It's
Mhm.
the fight. It's scary though. It's kind of scary though, because let's say they do fight. I'm sorry, I'm extending this a little too long.
No, no, no. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, let's say Canelo and Benavidez fight. So
Mhm.
what's next?
After that, that's a good
Yeah,
question. It would
well,
have
you,
to
you, you
be,
know what I'm saying?
but that's what I'm telling you, my man. This is going to be one of those fights. Let's say Canelo controls it. Supposedly, even though you and I don't agree, like the way Triple G controlled Canelo in part one, even though I still think Canelo won that fight.
Mhm.
Leave that in the comment what you guys think. Dude, I have a feeling, bro, that they have to prolong it. That if there's no knockout, Benavidez doesn't knock out Canelo, which won't happen. Um, they're going to give the bout to Benavidez to prolong, to keep the trilogy, to make the
Yeah,
trilogy.
yeah. I think it's
You
going to
know?
be a trilogy. I think it's going to
Yeah,
be a
I think it's gonna
trilogy.
be forced, bro. I think it's gonna be forced. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Canelo knocks him out, or for the conversation purposes, Benavidez knocks him out. I doubt it. You know, it's going to be pumped up to where, oh, well, Canelo was winning until he got caught, or Benavidez was winning until he got caught. There is a second fight. The second fight is warranted. And then we'll get to see. They got to keep that rivalry going. Tyson Fury, dude, he looks so bad for boxing against Ngannou that he better knock out Usyk in the first 3 rounds to make up for that loss against Ngannou.
In my opinion, bro, Tyson Fury, I'm just my opinion. All right, I'm probably alone in the whole world with this opinion. The whole Tyson Fury thing, bro, I'm done.
Well, he's the only guy besides Canelo that can carry. I think he made over 150 mil for the Ngannou fight. I could be even low ballparking that, bro.
So you don't think any lightweight could carry the crown as the face of boxing?
Crawford, look, they're making him fight Errol Spence. Now, whether it's in the contract or not, like you said 5 minutes ago, nobody wants to see that fight, man.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that
fight. I don't want to see it. That's because I had Spence winning the first fight. Predictably,
I thought Spence was going to knock him out. Exactly.
Right now, boxing is the lightweights are going to have to carry it. Tank, Ryan Garcia, whether you love him or hate him, overrated or not, Haney, those guys, in a way, is going to have to they're going to have to give, in a way, the purse to start coming to America to move up in weight and fight
130.
130, whether he is ready or not. Hopefully he is. But that is the only thing. We need an international appeal. When Pacquiao came in, Canelo from Mexico, well, even though it's Western, but international appeal from the eastern part of the world or Europe or in the Middle East or something, in a way, has to be the guy to keep boxing more relevant, Tank Davis, and then that's the next buildup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a way, fight Santa Cruz, goes at 126, and eventually for the next 2 years, we talk about what about in a way take. We're already talking about it, you know.
Boxing cannot lose Canelo right now, bro.
Right.
Boxing without Canelo, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate over this, but boxing without Canelo, bro, I'm gonna say it right now. Boxing without Canelo, UFC takes over all sports.
Right.
When it comes to combat sports, it's UFC. The Canelo is keeping boxing alive, in my opinion. You know what I mean? After him, I think that.
Well, look, all we see now, what is doing the pay-per-view besides Canelo and a little bit of Tank and Ryan Garcia? It's you two fighters, brother. You know what I'm saying? You two fighters are the ones creating the purses. Let's just say, hypothetically, this is the roadmap for boxing, in my opinion. Canelo needs to win. I don't think Benavidez, let's say he beats Canelo, unless he goes up to fight 175 against Bivol and Beterbiev next. I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I just don't see it, brother. You know, I agree with you. Go ahead.
No, I mean, after, this is just me, man. This is, people can criticize whatever, my opinions about things, but I mean, dude, nobody can carry the crown of boxing right now. Aside from maybe Canelo, Bud, who else, bro? Me, I'm done with Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with the whole heavyweight division, honestly. David Benavidez, can he carry the boxing
at 168? Because you just said like 10, 15 minutes ago that he wants to stay at 168.
Yeah, that's what his circle is saying.
There's nothing there, bro. It's going to be a triple G at 160 for the next 5-10 years. You know what I'm saying? Unless some boogeyman makes his way all the way from 154 to 160 and then meets Benavidez at 168 and Benavidez is already this more well-seasoned fighter, maybe, shoot, Benavidez can keep it going, or boxing can keep it going with Benavidez. He has to go to 175. The only way Benavidez becomes, of course, beating Canelo, of course. Go to 175. Better be a Bivol. That's it, bro. That's it.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I look, bro. Look, I want everybody to know I love David Benavidez, man. I really do.
Right.
He just, for me, he's a great fighter, a special fighter, and but he's not it, bro. He's not it. He's not it, man. There was something about Bud Crawford, the way he fought Spence, the way Bud has fought, all his opponents. He just technically sound. He's a beautiful boxer. Bud is beautiful to see. The skill that Bud has, Canelo, bro, with his body shots, his defense was spectacular, bro. You couldn't catch him. Mayweather had it. Pacquiao with his fierce, brawling boxing, footwork, hand speed. Dude, I don't think that there's anybody else. That's why I had said a couple of minutes ago, I think boxing's afraid to give us David Benavidez and Canelo too soon, to the where they know, bro, that they got to keep this machine going. That's why I'm predicting a trilogy. If these two guys fight next year, it has to be a trilogy until hopefully a new star is born. And they need the Mexican fan base. They need a Mexican Hispanic fan base, not a Puerto Rican or, it has to, they need the Mexican fan base, because that's what's, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate over it, but that's what fills those arenas, man, and coliseums. And, dude, I just don't think that they're going to risk it right now. Does Canelo have to fight David Benavidez? Yes. But I think it's going to be a trilogy type of fight where people are going to boo because they felt David won and Canelo wins, or vice versa, like you said, where Canelo wins by the fans and David wins by the judges. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be something twisted. But right now, boxing cannot lose Canelo, in my opinion.
Do you think they can force the Crawford-Canelo fight? Keep it alive. That was a beautiful fight, by the way. That was a beautiful speech. We should have ended there, but you reminded me of Crawford, so I gotta ask.
Look, man. Right now, Crawford has Spence problems, but I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be the same old thing, probably even worse." Blah blah blah. No, bro, no. David Benavidez right now and Canelo that's the ticket, bro. Why? Because they're both similar in size. We've already talked about this. That it's a lose-lose situation for Canelo to be fighting Bud.
Right.
Because
You're right.
Because if Canelo beats him, Bud is too small. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he
if
wouldn't. No.
Keeps it close, and it's like Canelo's done.
It's not a legacy fight. Bud versus Canelo, it's only feeding a certain crowd in boxing. Right. But when it's, how can I put this? Canelo and Bud is for the fans. Benavidez and Canelo is for legacy for the fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? So forget about Bud. Bud has Boots Ennis to deal with. He has Spence to deal with. He has Jermell Charlo to deal with. Possibly Tim Tszyu. Right now, it's Canelo and David Benavidez, period. How will the fight go? Like we talked about earlier, I think it's going to be a trilogy. But forget about Bud and Canelo.
Listen, and I'll end on this. You're right. Whatever happens in September, whether it's controversial or not, or maybe a first-round knockout by either or, they're going to keep this a 2-year trilogy. or at least a rematch in the making, right? In those 2 years, this is my thought. Because let's be honest, Crawford's already going to be, I think he's already 36. He's already almost done. He has like 2 years of boxing left, maybe three tops. Okay. I think in the 2 years that they're grouped, that this rematch and these bouts or trilogy maybe with Benavidez happens in that 2 year span, they're going to try to, they're going to give the farm away to Inoue and to Tank Davis to train for those 2 years. Of course, they're going to be fighting in between, of course, to where Inoue can go up in class, maybe a little bit faster than he really wants to. But boxing is going to keep that for the next 2 years after that. And hopefully some other young bucks come in and carry the throne. And Inoue, Tank end up being the new face of boxing. But man, a lightweight face. I mean, we haven't really seen a lightweight face since who? Chavez? You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao, but
Manny Pacquiao.
I think Pacquiao was more in the welterweight, if you ask me. I'm sorry, in the welterweight, but I could see where they spend the next 2 years, Canelo Benavidez, and in that time, in a way, jumping weight classes to build up the next big mega bouts with Tank Davis. You have any thoughts on that?
No, I agree 100% because if you look at the landscape of boxing right now with who's out there, the young bucks coming up, I don't see anything special, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes. I'm not going to say, I don't want to discredit all the young fighters out there. There was something about Canelo. There was something about Mayweather. There was something about Manny Pacquiao. You know, there was something about these fighters. Oscar Loya, you know, fighting everybody, you know. I can't. I don't. Who is it? Boots is probably the only one.
Really? You think
Boots.
Boots?
I
Really?
look. I haven't seen Boots tested with. I mean, he's calling these guys out. He's calling Bud out.
It's like the new
You
Haney.
know. Yeah,
Calling
you
everybody
know,
out.
and I mean, yeah, Haney. I mean, come on. That's why I got him one of my top 4 fighters of all time. I mean, well, not all time, but for now, my pound for pound list as of now, 2023. Why? Because Haney's taking all challenges.
I agree.
He took pay cuts to, you know, grab titles, to beat people. He has confidence, man.
Right.
Anyways, but I don't think he's the savior of boxing. I don't think so. You know, so I don't know, man. We'll see what happens.
You know who could have been, but he's just not that great, is Ryan Garcia, bro. If Ryan Garcia was a better boxer, if he could manage to keep up his guard when he's throwing those crazy hooks, you know, he had that capability to carry the throne, but he's not in the class of any of the other lightweights at all, in my opinion. But
Ryan had all the skills, bro, but he was missing something huge, and that's the
hard.
dog.
Yeah, he doesn't have the dog.
He doesn't have the dog. You know what I mean? Like to overcome adversity and tough moments where you're getting knocked out and just fight to the bitter end. He
I
doesn't
agree
have
with
it.
you, bro. I agree with you.
You know,
Well,
so
that was a beautiful episode. I couldn't have asked for anything better, guys. Thank you guys for the comments. Carl Lyndon Rosal, the famous Aiken McCall. We appreciate all the love from all the guys, all our viewers. We appreciate everything. Sam, do you have any final words for them?
yeah, you know, hey, we're going to continue to do some more lives when, you know, we get some better events with some more boxing lives, and we appreciate the comments, the likes, the shares, you know, subscribe people and share so we can continue, you know, having this community get bigger. And if there's any topics y'all want to talk about, let us know in the comment section and we'll do an episode.
Absolutely, my man. And we'll go ahead and leave it at that. For all you other guys that are watching, thank you guys for the love. Like I said, we have 2 new episodes, 2 new bangers coming out this Monday and Wednesday, our top 3, and of course, our traditional episode. So look out for that. And like I always like to say, don't forget to stick and move, baby.
That was good.